My wife's biggest secret was exposed by my own daughter, and now she's begging me to stay. I never expected my life to turn upside down because of a single innocent sentence from my daughter. But that is exactly what happened one night when I was tucking her into bed. She looked at me with those big, bright eyes and asked, "Why does Mommy call Uncle James her special love?" My heart stopped. My world shattered. I could feel my blood turn cold, because deep down I already knew something was wrong, but I never had proof. Until that moment, my daughter had no idea what she had just done. She had exposed my wife's biggest secret, and now there was no going back. I pretended everything was fine. I kissed her goodnight, tucked her in, and walked out of her room as calmly as I could. But inside my mind was racing. My heart was pounding. I had to know the truth, so I did something I never thought I would. I went straight to my wife's phone while she was in the shower. My hands were shaking as I typed in the passcode. She thought I didn't know, but I had seen it once before, and now I was using it against her the moment the screen unlocked. I felt my stomach drop. There were messages, thousands of them hidden under a contact name disguised as a work colleague. But it was him, James, my so-called best friend, the man I trusted, the man I let into my home, into my life. And now he had taken everything from me. The messages were sickening. "I love you, I miss you. I can't wait to see you again." I read them one by one, every word a stab to my heart. They talked about their secret meetups in my own house when I was at work. The gifts he gave her, the nights they spent together. It was all there, right in front of me. Undeniable proof that my wife had been cheating on me for years. And the worst part, my daughter knew him. She had seen them together. She had heard things that no child should ever have to hear. I clenched my fists. My vision blurred with rage, but I couldn't explode. Not yet. I had to be smart. I had to be careful. So I put the phone back exactly how I found it, and walked out of the room. I needed a plan. I needed revenge, because forgiving them was never an option. The next morning I acted normal. I kissed my wife on the cheek, smiled at my daughter, and left for work. But I wasn't going to work. I was meeting with a lawyer. I needed to know my options. I needed to take my daughter away from this toxic woman before she ruined her childhood forever. The lawyer listened carefully and nodded, understanding my pain. He told me exactly what I needed to do. I had to gather more evidence, make sure there was no way she could twist the story in court. So that's exactly what I did. For the next few weeks, I played the role of a perfect husband. I smiled, laughed, acted like nothing was wrong. But behind the scenes, I was setting everything up. Cameras in the house tracking her movements, saving every single message I could find. And when I had everything, when there was no way she could deny it, I finally made my move. It was a Friday night, a special family dinner. My wife thought I was being extra loving. She had no idea that this was the night I would destroy her world. I waited until dessert, when my daughter was upstairs playing. I pulled out my phone, connected to the TV, and pressed play. The messages, the pictures, the videos. Everything was there, in full display. My wife's face turned pale. She looked at me in horror, tears forming in her eyes. "Michael, please let me explain," she whispered. But I wasn't interested in her lies anymore. I just stared at her coldly. "You lied to me for years. You betrayed me with my best friend in my own home in front of our daughter. How could you?" I asked, my voice steady but filled with rage. She broke down, sobbing, begging me to forgive her, swearing it was a mistake, promising to fix everything. But I was done. I had already made my decision. I stood up, grabbed my bag, and looked at her. "One last time. I am taking our daughter, and you will never see us again." I said. Her face twisted in shock. She reached for me. But I stepped back. Don't you dare touch me, I growled before walking away. I had already contacted the lawyer, filed for full custody, and made sure she had no way to fight back. I had every piece of evidence, every proof of her betrayal. There was no escape for her. Weeks passed, and my wife, or should I say ex-wife, tried everything to get me back. She showed up at my work, left, messages cried in front of my house. But I never responded. She was nothing to me anymore. She had destroyed our family, and now she had to live with the consequences. As for James, I made sure everyone knew what kind of person he was. His wife, his family, his friends. He lost everything just like she did. And I didn't feel a single ounce of guilt. Now I live a new life, a better life. Just me and my daughter away from all the lies, all the pain. And if there is one thing I have learned from all of this, it is that betrayal is not a mistake. It is a choice. And once someone makes that choice, they do not deserve a second chance. If you made it this far, you are a legend. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what you would have done in my place. See you in the next one.